So, over the past few days, I've been reading a book called City of Bones by Martha Wells. The story is set in a city called Sherazat, which is located on the fringes of an area in this world that the people simply refer to as the Waste. So the idea is that thousands of years ago, this world suffered a near apocalyptic event that caused huge sections of the land to become nearly uninhabitable for humans. Like there's a lot of dangerous animals, there's really harsh weather conditions, and there's almost no water. Like water is an extremely rare and valuable commodity in this universe. This catastrophe destroyed the civilization of the time and also led to the general downfall of what they just refer to as the ancients. So these were the people who lived back then, and also the people who used to be able to use a lot of more powerful magic. So these days, stuff left behind from that period of time are really valuable. So generally referred to as relics. So relics would be like any kind of thing that the ancients created or that was part of their world in some way. So for instance, tiles from the murals they had, or containers that they used, or magical objects. Like magical objects in particular are extremely sought after, even though most people can't really use them or understand what they were for. Like there is a little bit of magic left in the world. Like you have ghost talkers and fortune tellers, and then you also have the warders, which is kind of like the elite guard for the city, and they're people who are trained to use magic that's a little bit more similar to what the ancients had, actually cast spells and stuff. Only it's said that if a warder pushes their abilities too far, then they run the risk of going crazy, which is not a problem that the ancient mages suffered from. The main character, Cat, is a relic hunter. So he deals in trade for a lot of these kind of things, and the story begins when he's approached to guide someone to a remnant. So remnants are something else that the ancients left behind, which have have left a lot of questions. Like there are these really large structures scattered throughout the world that can't be damaged or destroyed. And, they don't really know what they were created for, because they don't really appear to have been designed for people to live in. But they do have a lot of unusual carvings, and people can often find bits and pieces of what they believe were arcane engines used by mages in the past in these remnants, and it's somewhere where treasure hunters often go. And Cat is a little wary about this job. It's coming from a warder and one of the higher ranking classes of people in the city, but he also can't really turn it down for that same reason, and he could also really use the money for his own purposes. So he takes the job, and it ends up getting both him and his treasure hunting partner Sagai pulled into the darker side of the politics for the ruling classes and the people in charge of Sherazat, because he gets, dragged into helping to look for a set of magical relics. He's not really sure what they're for, but it's quickly becomes apparent that they may in fact be extremely dangerous. So something I liked about this story would definitely be just learning about the mystery of the world. There's so many questions about why the ancients did the things that they did, why they created the remnants, what caused the catastrophe, how did all this happen in their world, and exploring these questions and following the characters as they learn and figure out the truth of that history was really interesting to me. But Something that I did not like, I think I just found the story, like when I finished it, generally unsatisfying. And I think it's, I guess suffice to say, it's one of those stories where it had a romance line that you kind of wish did happen but didn't. And there's something unsatisfying about seeing a relationship develop but having it like hit a brick wall and die because it just, isn't something that would work out because of like who they are and what they are and the positions they have in society. So I guess in that regard, when I finished reading it, I just kind of found it a little dissatisfying.